Okay, so I kept repeating round 11 until my work measured 8 inches from the bottom all the way up to the top, okay? And so now I'm just going to join with a slip stitch, join my round, and then I'm going to act like I'm going to chain 1, but then I'm just going to pull my yarn all the way through to fasten off, okay? Okay, so we are now completed with the basket. Okay, so now all we have to do is weave in these yarn tails and we will be finished with the basket portion, okay? So let's go on to the next part where we're going to work on the ears. Now we're going to go down to working with only one strand of yarn at a time. We have been doing it where we were holding 2 yarn strands together, but now we're going to just do a single strand, and we're also going to be working with our smaller hook, okay? And we are going to start with the color that we've chosen for our inner ear. I'm doing this pink, okay? And we're going to work on the ears. So we're going to take our inner ear color and we are going to connect it onto our hook with a slip stitch, okay? And we are going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Okay, we're going on to the first row. We are going to do 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet all the way across. So working in the second chain from the hook, we're just going to do 1 single crochet, okay? And then in each remaining chain, we're going to do 1 single crochet. So we should have a total of 9 single crochets all the way across our row. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oops, and 9. Okay, so we have 9 single crochets across. Okay, going on to row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Okay, and then for rows 2, 3, and 4, we're just going to do, we're not going to be doing any increasing or decreasing. We're just going to do 1 single crochet in each single crochet across, still keeping with the stitch count of 9. And at each end, we'll chain 1 and turn our work. Okay, and then so we're going to do this right here is going to be row 2. And so we're going to do rows 2, 3, and 4 the same way, just doing 9 single crochets across. At the end, we will chain 1 and turn our work, okay? And so I'm going to finish up my rows. This is row 2, so I'm going to finish up this one and then rows 3 and 4, and I will meet you when I finish row 4, okay? Okay, so I've got to the end of round 4. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and then going on to round 5. Round 5, it says to single crochet in the first 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And then in the 5th stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2 in the same stitch. And then we're going to single crochet in the last 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And that will increase our stitch count to 10 stitches across. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Going on to round 6, we are going to just do 1 single crochet in each stitch across. Now we have 10 stitches across, and we're going to do that, chain 1 and turn at the end of each round, and we're going to do that for rows 6, 7, and 8, okay? Just doing 10 stitches across for those 3 rows, 6, 7, and 8. And I will meet you up at the end of row 10. I mean, sorry, at the end of row 8. Okay, so I just finished row 8, and I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. And going on to row 9, we're going to single crochet into the first stitch, and then in the second stitch we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then we're going to single crochet in each single crochet across until we have 2 stitches left. Okay, so let's do that all the way across. Okay, so now I have 2 stitches left, and so in the next stitch I'm going to do 2 single crochets in that one stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the last stitch. Okay, so we should now have a stitch count of 12 single crochets all the way across our work. Okay, now the next part of the instructions on the written pattern, it says to repeat the 9th row until you reach until your piece is 3 inches. Well, that is a typo, because I did that and my piece kept getting larger, and I knew that that was not the shape of an ear. So what you should do is just chain 1 and turn your work, okay, and then just do 1 single crochet in each stitch across, keeping it the stitch count at 12 stitches. Okay, don't repeat row 9. You're actually repeating row 8, I would guess, except that you have 12 stitches across. Okay, so anyway, just do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across until your work measures 3 inches from bottom to top, measuring, you know, this way. Okay, and I will meet you up when my work is measuring 3 inches. Okay. Okay, so I just kept working on my piece until my piece reached 3 inches from top to bottom. Okay, just doing 1 single crochet in each stitch across. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and now I'm going to start shaping the top of my inner ear. I'm going to do 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then I'm going to do a single crochet 2 together in the next 2 stitches. So I'm going to insert my hook, draw up a loop in from the first stitch, and then I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch and draw up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook, and now I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So that is a 2 single crochets together. Okay, now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch across until I have 3 stitches remaining. Okay, at the end of my row. Okay, now I have 3 stitches remaining, so I'm going to do another 2 single crochets together. So insert my hook into the next stitch, draw up a loop, insert my hook into the next stitch, draw up a loop, and then yarn over and draw through all 3 loops on your hook, and then do 1 single crochet in the very last stitch. Okay, chain 1 and turn. Okay, now I'm going on to the second row of the top shaping, and you're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Okay, so you should have 10 single crochets in your row right now. Okay, just do 1 single crochet across, chain 1 and turn. Okay, now I'm going for rows 3, 4, and 5. I am going to repeat the first row of this top shaping, where I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and then do a 2 single crochets together in the next 2 stitches. Okay, and then single crochet across until you have 3 stitches at the end of your row left to work into. Okay, like that. And then you're going to do 2 single crochets together, and then 1 single crochet into the last stitch. Okay, so that was row 3 of the shaping. So I'm going to repeat that row 2 more times for row 4 and row 5 of the shaping, starting with a chain 1 and turning our work. Okay, and so I will meet you up when I do those 2 rows, and at the end of those 2 rows you should only have 4 stitches across on your work. Okay, I'll meet you up when I get 2 more rows done. Okay, so I just did those 2 rows, repeating that decreasing row, and I now have 4 stitches across my piece. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. The next row I'm going to do 2 single crochets together. I'm going to do that twice, okay? So I'm going to do 2 single crochet together in the first 2 stitches, see? And I have 2 left over, 2 stitches left over. So I'm going to do that again, do 2 single crochets together. And that'll take up the last 2 stitches. And now we should only have 2 stitches across, okay? Chain 1 and turn our work, and then we're going to do a 2 single crochet together one more time in those 2 remaining stitches. Okay, so that gets us to the top of the ear. Okay, so we're not going to fasten off yet. Now we're going to continue going around our ear, and we're just going to do single crochet all the way around our ear and end up where we began, and then we will slip stitch into that stitch to fasten off. Okay, so I'm just going to start working down the side, okay, and I try to just kind of evenly space my single crochets going down the edge. It just gives a nice edge finish to the edges. Okay, just like that, see? So I'm just working my way down the ear. And like I said, try to do it kind of evenly, like 1 single crochet at the end of each row, working my way down the ear. Okay, and then when I get down to the corner, let me get that stitch in there. There. Oops. Try that again. Okay, when I get down to the corner, I'm going to do 2 single crochets into that same stitch, okay, and that's going to help me turn the corner. And now I'm going to work across the bottom, and then when I get to this corner, I'm going to do 2 single crochets in that corner. That helps me turn the corner to go back up, and then I work my way back up this side, and then when I get to the very top, I will slip stitch into that first stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and continue working around my ear, and then I will meet you up when get back up to the top again. Okay, so I've made my way all the way around my ear, and now I'm going to just slip stitch in my very first single crochet of the round, just like that. Okay, now I'm ready to fasten off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But go ahead and leave a long tail. I'd like to pull out extra yarn, lay it down, and then I just kind of lay my yarn all the way around my piece, okay, loosely, like that. Give me a little extra. And then I'll take my scissors and I will cut this off. And we're going to use this tail to stitch the inner ear to the outer ear, okay? So now I'm going to just pull my yarn through, just like that, okay? And so, like I said, I'll use this tail to sew the inner ear to the outer ear. Okay, so now we're going to go on to, go ahead and you can reverse the video here and make a second one of these, because you need 2 of the inner ears and 2 of the outer ears, okay? So now, when you're ready, come back and we will go on to the outer ear. Okay, so now we're going to go on to working on our outer ear, and it is worked almost exactly like the inner ear, but we start off with more stitches. So let's attach our yarn. We're still just doing a single strand of yarn now to our same hook that we used for the inner ear, and we'll attach it with a slip knot, okay? Now I'm going to chain 16. No, I'm sorry. Now I'm going to chain 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Okay, so now I'm going to slip single crochet in the second chain from hook. Okay, and then I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each chain all the way across, and we should have a total of 13 single crochets. Okay, so I just finished row 1. I just have you should have 13 single crochets all the way across. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, going on to row 2, and actually it's going to be rows 2 through 4. We're going to just do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across, and we should stay with 13 single crochets, okay, for our stitch count. And we're going to do this for rows 2, 3, and 4. And remember to chain 1 and turn at the end of each row. And I will meet you up when I get to the end of row 4. Okay, so I just finished row 4. I still have a stitch count of 13 stitches all the way across. So now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and going on to row 5. In row 5, we're going to do an increase row, and we're going to do 1 single crochet each in the first 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And then we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the last 6 stitches, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, chain 1, turn our work. So now we should have 14 stitches all the way across. Okay, so now for rows 6, 7, and 8, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Okay, and then of course you do chain 1 and turn at the end of each row. And so I will meet you up when I get to the end of row 8. Okay, okay, so I just finished row 8, and let's go on to row 9. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and then on to row 9. It says 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet all the way across in each stitch, 1 in each stitch, all the way across until we can get to the last 2 stitches, okay? So let's do that. Okay, so now I have 2 stitches left in this second to the last stitch. I'm going to do 2 single crochets into that stitch, 1 and 2, and then in the last stitch I'm going to just do 1 single crochet. Okay, chain 1 and turn our work. Okay, so now you should have a stitch count of 16 stitches all the way across. Okay, and so now we're going to, there is another typo just like before, because it said to repeat the 9th row, and if you did that, which was an increase row, the one we just did, your piece would grow real wide, and so then we don't want that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to just do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across, just like we did rows 6 through 8, okay? But we're just going to do 1 stitch in each stitch across, chain 1 at the end, and turn. And we're going to keep doing that until the piece will measure 3.5 inches from the bottom to the top, okay? 3.5 inches. And so I'm going to get going on mine, and I will meet you up when my piece measures 3.5 inches, and you should still have 16 stitches all the way across. Okay, so now my piece measures 3.5 inches from bottom to top. Okay, so I'm ready to now do the decreasing to shape the tip of the ear. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Okay, and so what we're going to do now is the first shaping row. We're going to do 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then we're going to do, just like we did the inner ear, we're going to do 1 single crochet 2 together. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet 1 stitch in each stitch all the way across until we have 3 stitches left on the row. Okay, and now we're going to do 2 single crochet together in the next 2 stitches to do a decrease, and then now we're going to do 1 single crochet into the last stitch. Okay, chain 1 and turn our work. Okay, so now we're going to keep doing that decrease row. We're going to repeat just what we did, and we're going to do that until we have a total of only 4 stitches. Okay, it's because each row that you do, you will decrease by 2 stitches. So right now we had 16 stitches, now we have 14 stitches across. Okay, so we'll keep doing that until we have 4 stitches across. Okay, and I will meet you up when I have 4 stitches. Okay, so I now have only 4 stitches across the top of my outer ear piece. I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish up. I'm going to do a single crochet 2 together 2 times to get across the row. So there's the first time, and then 1 more time, single crochet 2 together, and now we have 2 stitches across the top. Chain 1 and turn our work, and then we're going to do single crochet 2 together 1 more time, and that will finish off the tip of the ear. Okay, so and before fastening off, now we're going to do the same thing that we did with the inner ear. We're going to single crochet all the way down the side. When we get down to this corner, we're going to do 2 single crochets to help us turn the corner, and then we will single crochet across the bottom. You can work over this tail, your beginning tail, and we're going to single crochet all the way back up, and then when we get to the end, we're going to slip stitch. When we get back to the top, we're going to slip stitch into this tip of the ear of this stitch, and then fasten off. Okay, so I'm going to get going and start crocheting around my ear. Okay, all the way around the edges, and you work on yours, and then I will meet you up when I get ready to fasten off. Okay, so I just single crocheted all the way around my piece, and I got up to the top, and I slip stitched into my beginning stitch. Okay, at the top of the ear. Okay, so now I'm going to just fasten off. Okay, and I'm going to just pull my yarn through to fasten off, and then of course I will be weaving in my tail. Okay, and then so I'm going to take my inner ear piece that I made, and I'm just going to center it onto my outer piece. Okay, and you can take your pins, straight pins, if you want to put some pins in it to hold it in place where you're wanting it, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take my yarn needle and go ahead and yarn up my needle here with my long tail that I left on the inner piece. Okay, and then I'm going to start sewing the inner piece to the outer piece, but I want to make sure that you won't be able to see the stitches on the back side of my piece. Okay, now I will weave that in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to just take the needle and put it underneath a few of the little strands, but make sure that you won't be able to see that yarn in the back. Okay, and I'll do that all the way around my ear piece to attach the inner ear to the outer ear, and see, you can't see the stitch on the back side. Okay, so I'm going to work on that. Like I said, just picking up a little bit of the yarn, this little bit of the yarn from the outer ear, okay, and then coming up back up through the inner ear, like that. Okay, and so I'm going to do that all the way around until my inner ear is attached to my outer ear. Okay, I already did this. I already did one of them, see? Okay, so continue working on that, stitching your inner ear to your outer ear, and like I said, just pick up a little bit of the yarn underneath there, so that way your stitches won't show from the back. You won't see any of the pink okay? And then also weave in this remaining tail that's at the top of your outer ear, okay? And then I will meet you back up when you get both of those done. Just press pause and get both of those stitched together, and then I will meet you back up, okay? Okay, so I got the ears all finished, the inner ear sewed onto the outer ear piece, and all the tails weaved in, okay? So going on to the last piece that we need to crochet, we're going to make the nose. So I'm taking my pink yarn and my small hook, the smaller hook, okay? And we are going to attach the yarn to our hook with a slip knot. And we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I got my chain 6 going on to the first row. We are going to do 1 single crochet in the second chain from hook, and then 1 single crochet in each chain across, and we're going to have 5 single crochets, okay? So in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do a single crochet. Okay, and then now we're going to go do 4 more single crochets in the 4 remaining chains across that the piece right there. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we have a total of 5 single crochets across the first row. Okay, going on to row 2, we are going to chain 1 and turn, and we are going to do a single crochet 2 together into the first 2 stitches, just like the way we've been doing that when we did on the ears, okay? So we did single crochet 2 together in the first 2 stitches, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, get my tail out of the way, and in the last 2 stitches we're going to do 2 single crochets together, okay? Single crochet 2 together. Okay, so now we have 3 stitches across at the end of row 2. Okay, going on to row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and now we're going to do a single crochet 3 together to finish off. So we're just going to insert our hook into the first stitch, draw up a loop, insert our hook into the second stitch, draw up a loop, insert our hook into the third stitch, draw up a loop, okay? We have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4 loops, okay? And so that gives us a point to our nose, okay? And then now we're going to fasten off, but leave a little tail to allow you to be able to sew the nose on, okay? Leave my scissors. Leave a good sized tail. Chain 1 and then pull your yarn all the way through to fasten off, okay? So there is our nose. Okay, so let's go ahead and weave this tail in, the beginning tail. Just hide it within the nose and trim it off. Just take it around the back like that, and trim off the excess, okay? And now we are going to take our basket, and I've already folded it down, but what you're going to do is you're going to take your basket, you're going to fold it down, okay, like a cuff to the outside of your basket. See that? Okay, and you want to have your measuring tape handy, so then you can measure. I know it's real close to the camera. Let's see. You want this, oops, wrong side. You want this to be 2.5 inches, okay? You want that cuff to come down 2.5 inches from the top. And just so fold your basket down and then use your tape measure and measure around several different places all the way around your basket to make sure that that cuff is equal and that it's 2.5 inches, okay? Okay, so once you get your basket all folded or cuffed down, find the seam. I can see I have a seam there. That's my back seam, so I want to put that at the back of my basket, okay? And now we're going to take our nose and we're going to sew the nose on, okay? So take your nose piece, yarn up your needle with the tail that you left to to sew it in, okay? And then it says to sew the nose in position, and just refer to the picture in the, I'm going to do this a little bit so you can see it better. Okay, just refer to the picture, but in the picture it shows that the nose is at the very bottom of where the cuff is, okay? So I'm going to just sew it on. And I'm only sewing it onto the top layer, just to that cuff layer, I guess you'd say. And you want to work all the way around, stitching your nose onto your piece. Okay, so let me get this stitched on, and then I will meet you back up when I'm ready to go on to the next step. Okay, so I got my nose sewed on, and I just finished it under the back side of the cuff, okay, finished it, fastened off and weaved in the ends, okay, the end, one end. So here's my nose. Okay, so now we're going to put the eyes in, okay, so I'm going to use some 12mm eyes that I have. I'm reaching over here to get them, sorry. Okay, and so the pattern calls for 6mm eyes, but I have a set of safety eyes that are several different sizes, and so I just went through my safety eyes and I decided that I like the look of the larger eyes instead of the 6mm eyes. So that's what I'm going for. So you may want to consider using larger eyes if you prefer instead of 6mm. Okay, so I'm just referring to the picture as far as where to put my safety eyes in. I'm just kind of counting down from the top, just the different stitches, like I said, just looking at the picture. So at the picture, I'm counting down, let's see, it looks like 1, 2, 3, maybe the fourth row, the fourth hole, stitching hole down, okay? And the eyes seem to be kind of a little wider than where the nose is, like a couple of stitches over possibly. So let me try one stitch over and see if I like that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, about right there. Okay, and I'm just poking my eye in there to see how I like it. My other one, and then I'm looking at the picture. I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 stitch holes that I can see just by looking in the picture, so I'm going to do that on my basket here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to go in the next one. Okay, and then I'm going to look at my face and see how I like that. And feel free to adjust the spacing of your eyes if you think you want them in a different spot. Okay. But I think I like that okay. I could move up 1 just to see if I like it, the eyes further up. You just adjust the eyes into the spot you think you like. And you can even take one of your ears and hold it like that to see if it's in the right spot, or if you think it's too close to the ears. Okay. Okay, so once you get your eyes in the position that you're wanting, then you're going to take the backs, the back pieces of the eyes, and you snap them on just underneath that cuff. You don't have to go through both layers of your basket, okay? Just go underneath the first layer, just that cuff layer, and go ahead and snap the backs onto the posts of your safety eyes. Now you can crochet eyes or embroidery eyes if you don't have safety eyes. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my eyes attached and I will be right back. Okay, I got my eyes attached and I'm going to go ahead and sew in my whiskers now to give him some personality. Okay, so I took a long strand of my white yarn, okay, and I yarned my needle, and I'm just referring to the picture. Now in the picture it shows you can do the daisy chain stitch. I believe that's what they're doing, and there is a instruction on the in the pattern where you can do that. I am not very good at the daisy chain stitch, so I'm just going to do some long stitches to make the whiskers coming up from the bottom underneath this cuff piece, and I'm just referring to the picture as far as where the whiskers are. But if you want to do that chain stitch, embroidery stitch, then feel free to do that. Okay, so going up from the bottom, I'm just going to pick a hole to come up that's on the side of the nose on both sides, okay, because I want the whiskers to come out, or both whiskers to come out the same hole as how it shows in the picture. Okay, so just like a stitch over. You can either go through one of the stitch holes, or you can go through just in the middle of a stitch. I hope you can see that. And then I'm just going to come up, and I'm going to leave a tail at underneath there so that I can tie it off when I get finished. And then it looks like the whisker, just referring to the picture, it looks like it's going up 2 rows of stitches, 1, 2, maybe up that far. Okay. And just count, see how many stitches over. 1, 2, 3. It looks like 4 stitches over approximately, and up about that far. Okay. I mean, as far as 2 rows up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, about right there, possibly. But I'm looking, and I think it needs to be closer to the eye. So just like I said, refer to the picture about right there. And I'm going to just put my needle in there, pull it down. See, just make a big stitch. Okay. And then I'm going to go up through the same hole that I started in to make my second whisker. Comes through that same opening, or the stitch or whatever, and then the bottom whisker looks like it's going straight across, so I'm just going to kind of do even with where that whisker is. Sorry if I didn't stay in the camera well. It's kind of awkward to hold it like this. Okay, so like that, see? Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and bring my needle over. You can cut and tie your piece if you prefer. I guess I'll do that. So pull it over like I folded it up so I can see the underside of the cuff. I'm going to cut my yarn a little bit here, and then I'm just going to kind of tie these ends together in a double knot to secure it. I don't want to tie them real tight because I don't want the stitch to look real tight and stretched in the front. Okay, like that. And then you can just cut them short. And like I said, if you don't like all that underneath, you can weave in those ends, but this is going to be all folded over, so I'm not going to worry about the underneath part that much. Okay, so now I'm going to do my second whisker just like I did the first whisker. Okay, on the other side. Okay, so I got my whiskers secured onto my bunny. Okay, I think he's looking really cute. So let's go ahead and sew on the ears. Okay, so I got a long strand of the same buff color that I used for the body of the basket, and get one of my ears. And it looks to me, just referring in the picture, it looks to me like the ears are push this down this way so then you can kind of see what I'm doing. The ears are gathered together, okay? So you can do that with your yarn needle by just pinching them together like that. Kind of make like a W. And sewing those together if you want that to have a gathered effect. And it's up to you as far as how much you want it to be gathered or, you know, crinkled like that, okay? But I think it looks cute gathered together. Just put a few stitches in there across that piece to secure that gather together, okay? Just like that. And then you want to take your basket and you want to place it. Place the ears. It looks like they're on the outer area of the eyes. Okay, like that. The instruction doesn't say where to put them, so you can just kind of refer to the picture. Now you can use pins to pin in the ears like that, you know, to pin them in, to kind of give you an idea of where you're wanting to place the ears. You know, you can fix one and then go and get the other ear prepared. Get that pinned in, see, like that. And that way you can kind of figure out the placement of where you're wanting the ears, okay? So let me go ahead and do that. And like I said, once you get them pinned in, you know, pinned in where you're wanting them, then you're just going to take the yarn needle and your yarn, the same color of the basket, and you're just going to stitch that piece in to the inside of the basket, okay, and each ear, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that, secure my ears, and then I will come back and we will work on the his fluffy little tail that goes in the back, okay? So let me get these attached on, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I got my ears secured on. I raised up the camera a little bit so that way maybe you can see more of the whole basket, okay? So that is my basket so far. Now all I have to do now is do the pom-pom for his tail in the back. And we are going to attach it to the bottom part, not the cuff. Here we've been working on the cuff area, but when we put the tail on, we're going to attach it to the very the base. You know, you want to make sure when you set it down that the pom-pom will rest on the table. It's not going to be hanging down below the basket, but you want to attach it to the bottom, this bottom layer. Okay, so now if you have a pom-pom maker, feel free to do that. I have a Clover pom-pom maker that I like to use, but if you don't have a pom-pom maker, then there are instructions in the pattern on how to make the pom-pom just with your hands, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that so that way you can see how that is done. Okay, so it says to use I'm going to use my white yarn, and it says to wrap around 4 fingers approximately 60 times around your hand, okay? And then you will remove your fingers and tie in the center tightly. So first one I'm going to do is go ahead and cut a long length of yarn that I will use to tie it, and also I will also use that to tie to the basket. Okay, so I'll set that aside, and now I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to start wrapping around 4 fingers, okay, and it says to do that approximately 60 times. Okay, so I just wrapped 60 times around my hand. Now I'm going to take my crochet hook, put it underneath there, underneath all of the yarn, and I'm going to hook on this yarn, the yarn strand that I cut to tie. I'm going to hook that on to my crochet hook, and I'm going to pull one end, if I can do that one-handed, pull one end there through, yeah, to get my tail underneath there. Okay, so now I'm going to pull off carefully, pull off all these strands of yarn off my hand, okay, just like that. I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to cut off that's still attached to the skein. I'm going to disconnect from that. Okay, so now I'm going to take the 2 tails, the tail that I pulled through there, and I'm going to tie that in a knot, just like that. Okay, and you want to tie it pretty tightly, and then go ahead and do a double knot. Okay, and now I'm going to wrap around the back side. Okay, turn it over, wrap around, and then wrap around the whole entire back side with a double knot as well. Try to get in the middle. Okay, and also do a double knot. Okay, just like that. And then you can wrap it around the middle again, around to the other side, if you want to secure it once more. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut through the loops on both sides to release and start creating my pom-pom, okay? Just like that. Make sure I don't cut the two tails that I have that I'm going to use to attach it to my basket. Okay. Just like that. Just release those loops, okay? And then turn it over and do the other side. Okay. Just like that. And just make sure that you've cut all those loops. If you find any more, you have to go back and cut them. Okay. Okay, so I just kind of shake it, and then I start kind of trimming the strands that are longer. I'm trying to get them where they're the same length, you know, and just kind of shaping it into a ball. Try to tame the wild ones. Okay, so you keep doing that until you have the pom-pom looking the way that you like it. Okay, so I'm going to keep trimming on mine a little bit more, and then when I get it to where I like it, I will come back and we will attach it to the back of our basket. Okay. Okay, so I got my pom-pom trimmed pretty well. Like I said, I'm not the best at making pom-poms, but anyway, so the way you're going to do now is you're going to take the strands that you used to tie your pom-pom together. You want to find the center back of your basket, just wherever the here like you want the tail to be between, like where the ears are in the back. Okay, so I'm going to take my crochet hook and I'm going to pull these strands through to get the ties to the inside. You can use a yarn needle and do the same thing. Just maybe pull the other tail a couple of stitches over, you know, like one stitch over from where the other one went in, just like that. And then go to the inside, and I'm just going to tie mine. You can tie it and weave in your ends if you prefer to do that, or you can just tie it in a double knot and make sure that it's where you're wanting it. I can always go back and trim it a little bit more. Okay, and then go ahead and tie it in a double knot to secure it inside there. Okay, like that. And then I'll probably just cut it off short, and like I said, you can weave in your ends. You can do that, hide your tails up, you know, inside the stitches. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so there is my bunny basket. I think it's so cute, look, with the little tail at the back. So cute. Okay, So I will take care of that tail in there. But anyway, so thanks guys for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoy this. I think it's so cute, and it's going to be such a cute decoration for Easter. You could crochet some Easter eggs, which would be cute, and stuff them and then put them in your basket. That would be really cute. There are several tutorials that you can find online that are free, that you can just, you know, just put it in here in YouTube, and tutorials to guide you through making an Easter egg. Use some cute variegated pastel colored yarn would be cute, I think. Or you could put flowers in here, you know. You could fill it with you could also put washcloths, you know, roll up washcloths and have this in the bathroom. I think that would be really cute. And then of course you don't have to just use it for Easter. You could use it in a nursery. You put diapers in there, or, you know, changing supplies. That would be really cute, I think. And you could also use it for a yarn bowl, I think. Anyway, multiple uses. So thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next tutorial. Bye guys.